We as human beings have been in the age of social media for a while now. I'm talking about Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, etc, etc. So my personal opinion on social media is I think it's great. I think social media connects us together, allows us to connect with different people from around the world, and obviously there's endless opportunities. Another thing I love about social media is things don't go unnoticed no more, and I feel like it's bringing the world together. Even though there's a very dark side to social media, which is cyberbullying, negative comments, just negative, vile people who hate their lives and have nothing better to do than to spread hate and discrimination online. I hear the word jealousy being thrown around a lot when it comes to social media, jealousy and comparison. I'm not sure that those two behaviors came about because of social media. I think those two behaviors have been around for as long as we could remember. I mean, way before social media, for example, being African, and I can definitely vouch for this. I mean, your parents will usually tell you, look at your friend, look at this cousin, look at what they're doing. You should know better, you should do better. I mean, they mean the best. Of course they mean the best when they say that, but that's just not a healthy comparison. Now, I don't think comparison is all bad, especially when it comes to business or when it's an actual competition. But when it comes to us as in individuals, I think it's the worst thing you can do for yourself. You're actually doing yourself a disservice because there's no one like you. Your strength is no one can be you. However, saying all of that, I really do believe that social media has been the driving factor of a lot of people's unhappiness and depression, especially my generation, the younger generation. Of course, everyone's going to put on their best clothes when they're taking a picture, sit in the best cars or take a picture in one of the best locations when they're posting on social media. They want to amplify their profiles and they want to let people know that they're doing well, even though it's usually far from the truth. I mean, most of these pictures show the materials and the person's external world. Now, you and I both know that it's all about what happens on the internal that determines what true success is. Is the person actually happy? Which leads us onto the topic of our video, American rapper Lil Xan, aka Diego, which gives us reasons and why you should never compare your universe to another individual's universe. I believe the only time you should look at someone else's life is to learn from their mistakes or their successes. Lil Xan, whose real name is Diego, came with the wave of 2017 SoundCloud rappers with face tats. I've never really heard of a Lil Xan song, but to be honest, after hearing his story, I felt like it was something worth doing a video on because I think his story provides a very powerful message for all of us. Blowing up from SoundCloud, he transitioned from there to YouTube, to charting, to doing tours and building a powerful fan base, all in a very short space of time. Money, fame, the materials and the women, it seemed like Lil Xan had the world at his feet at 21 years old. However, behind all the external riches, as per usual, all was not what it seemed for Diego.
I'm going through so much shit. I just found out my dad is a fucking crackhead. Yo, look, they really trying to take me off live right now. I want to show y'all what mental illness really fucking looks like. Y'all want to see what that looks like? I just did this to my car. Scratched it, keyed it up. I just bought it. I just bought this fucking car. It's keyed all the way. Hit the fucking door. Wanna know why I'm doing that? Because of mental fucking illness. All this materialistic shit don't mean shit in the world. And when they won't let you do, I'm owned. I'm a fucking slave. I'm a slave to my management. I'm a slave to everybody. I don't get control of my license. I don't get control of my bank account. I don't get control of shit. I can't even drive that fucking car. They put it in the basement so I couldn't take it.
I mean, let's be honest. Lil Xan was just a kid, this huge amount of success in a short space of time. Now what I want to do is I want to get a little bit practical. Here are 3 important questions that I always ask myself when I'm feeling off balance or feeling like I'm not focusing on my internal or on my path. Question 1. Why do I feel like this? Now this is a great question to ask for self-awareness. Now most people would just think on the surface level with this question and say, well, obviously I feel stuck in my life, I'm not thriving, while this person online or this person that I know is doing way better than me. I would actually say this question has nothing to do with anything outside you, but all to do with you and you alone. So think about this question alone and you're likely to get further. Question number 2. Why do I feel like I deserve the success right now? Now, this question is going to keep you honest. A reality check. Now, let's take Lil Xan for example. Regardless whether he fell off or not, this man was releasing EPs back in 2016, and in an interview that I watched, he spoke about freestyling in schools, performing at school shows, and making multiple songs. So if you do the calculations, that's about 5 years prior before the world got to know Lil Xan. He was actually making music, he was putting the grind in, he was walking his path, and he was trusting in his process. So are you putting work in? Are you earning your stripes? Are you putting in your 10,000 hours? That's a question, you gotta be real. The final question, what are my intentions? What are the reasons behind your actions? As the saying goes, what is your why? If you're doing what you're doing to gain external gratification or for the external factors, then the truth is you're not really gonna last long. Because why? The external factors, they don't last. So you gotta ask yourself, and you gotta feel, is there really a meaning behind this? Do I feel this in my heart? Am I gonna do this regardless whether I'm getting paid or I'm getting attention, whether I'm getting criticism or praise? I think when you get clear on this last question, you will feel liberated, both in your personal life and in pursuing your purpose. Now, before we end this video, I just want to say I wish the best to Lil Xan. Obviously, depression, anxiety, and being addicted has ruined many lives, and I just hope that he can bounce back and actually, go back to his music, because he actually has a purpose to fulfill. Now, finally, I'm going to finish off the video by shedding light on the other end of the scale. Let's take two of the biggest fast food companies the world has ever seen, McDonald's and KFC. While most people above the age of 50 are looking at slowing down and eventually retiring, Colonel Sanders and Ray Kroc were just getting started. Both coming off the back of working various jobs in their early days to one back and forth battle with entrepreneurship later on in life. Ultimately, both men never gave in, and both their legacies will forever live on. To summarize the video with my opinion, obviously we've seen both ends of the scale. We've seen Lil Xan, who made it early and seems to have really suffered from the success. And on the other side, we've seen Ray Kroc and Colonel Sanders, who have struggled, lost businesses, been fired from jobs, ups and downs, had many no's, but eventually went on and built something that would forever serve the world. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, you have to define success for your own self. And honestly, the truth is, in society, too many times people define success by riches and material things, but it really doesn't have to be that way. You define success for what you believe is success. It could be having a family, it could be taking care of your family, it could be building a shop and setting it up as a family business. There's so many different ways to define success, but that can only be defined by the single individual. At the end of the day, one thing that keeps me sane in this life is that we're all gonna go, we all have one destination, which is 6 feet under. But what's important is that you live your life, you take care of yourself, you take care of those you love, and at the end of the day, guard your happiness. Thank you so much for making it towards the end of the video, guys. I hope this video has added some value to you and your life. Don't forget weekly uploads on this channel. Subscribe on the YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you soon.